Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to whoever it is in the world you are streaming here on Twitter, as well as those of you over on Prophet X's YouTube channel. Game 7 in the Western Conference. Game 7 alert. Somebody wake up Zaza Pachulia, wherever in the world he is. Tbilisi, perhaps. Always wanted to go to Tbilisi. Do you know they had a golden passport? During the COVID days, it was actually really easy to become a citizen. It's unfortunate it's just right next to Russia. It makes it a little difficult, but seems like a wonderful place. How we doing, everyone? Didn't expect a little geography as we started off today's show, but got to vamp for a little bit as people join the chat, and that's exactly what you are doing. A lot of Go Spurs go as we have ourselves a Game 7. I make jokes, and I'm going to repeat it. This is quite reminiscent of what transpired in 2016, with the exception there was no 3-1 comeback to force a Game 7. 2016 between the defending champs who just came off a historical season, 73-win campaign. We know Oklahoma City started, 24-2. They set all sorts of records. Something to be proud of, especially during a repeat campaign. Draymond Green has told us many times it's always the one after you win that's the toughest season. So you got that. You have a brewing dynasty in OKC if they're able to pull off another one somehow, some way. You have a team in the San Antonio Spurs that has all sorts of potential but can expedite it becoming a reality. Then you have Victor Wembanyama, who's hopefully not going to switch sides like Kevin Durant if they lose. There's a lot of similarities. That's not going to happen, thankfully, because he's under contract. But Game 7 is going to hit like Game 7 at Oracle Arena in 2016. There was no Game 6 Clay performance either, because we have yet another blowout to discuss. But blowouts don't happen by accident. All right, chat is in here. I'm seeing a whole bunch of caps. It must be Spurs fans. Good morning from MCC. Shit's Chris says, let's go. Give me the Zaza video, nothing easy. Utter domination by San Antonio, says Evan Perry. How do I give Mitch Robinson my pinky? Take that thing up and check ball. Mitchell Robinson doesn't even dribble. The only shots he takes are from the free throw line and alley-oops. Splint the thing and get out there, unless it's Jared Vanderbilt sticking out of your body. Didn't he even try and play in one of the later games? A lot of let's go Spurs, cue up Zaza. Yes, we've done it. Alien alert on display. Just crazy how much different it looks when Victor Wembanyama has the initiative of aggression. So if you guys want me to, I can just yap some thoughts on this Game 6, because I know everyone just wants to preview Game 7. Game 7, make your pick. But how did we get here in the first place? I see you guys in the YouTube chat too. All you guys want is Game 7. It doesn't matter if you get Scott Foster for Game 7 or not, because you've told me that he is the extender. There's nothing to extend unless they're trying to put the game into overtime. All right. Oh, there's a good question there. KC, the real in the chat. Is De'Aaron Fox still injured? Did he start tonight 0 of 7? I think he started tonight 0 of 7. He's been a big non-factor in this series, but that just speaks to the Spurs not being affected by that adversity when he should undoubtedly be Victor Wembanyama's secondary scoring option, especially in half-court sets. But we haven't seen him, or haven't needed to see him, in a clutch game, which is a 5-point scoring differential in the final 5 minutes or less, because we haven't had a close one in quite some time. But yeah, he's out there playing with a bum ankle. We'll get to Mitchell Robinson questions in a little bit, but first, let's discuss what everyone is here for me to yap about, and it's Game 6. First takeaway from this one is that will be the last. I'll make a bold prediction right now. That will be the last that we see of J-Dub in this series. That was a disaster. Those 10 minutes that he played, a complete disaster. And I thought that's where they lost the game. Yeah. And I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the approval process that has to go through the training staff, the coaches, Sam Presti, and J-Dub. Think of 3 or 4 branches of government all have to sign off on him not only being available and ready, risking future injury with a chronic hamstring injury that he's got going on right now. But he goes out there for 10 minutes and he finishes minus 18 in the box score plus minus. Before some of you try and defend him by saying, well, Shea was minus 26 or whatever the hell he ended up. We all know that there is context to this. And how they put J-Dub into screening action as if he was James Harden, or what the Cavs tried to do, putting Jalen Brunson into screening action, it was pretty damn noticeable that J-Dub was going to be put to the test defensively. And on offense, I paid extra special attention to this one because as soon as the news dropped that he was going to play, I maxed out, and I mean maxed out, on all of his prop unders because they were unchanged at the moment of my investment. Shout out to ProfitX for that one. So paying very close attention, needless to say, to J-Dub in this game and watching him be a gargoyle standing in the corner. They set up a hammer screen for him once, and Alex Caruso set a pin down screen for him one other possession. I'm talking 2 total offensive possessions where he maybe touched the ball. And his 1 point came on a free throw where he got bailed out by a reckless closeout by Dylan Harper. He is banged up. This is a guy that's all NBA. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he can't be on the floor right now. They weren't even paying attention to him, and they were going out of their way to include him in every single possession when he was on defense. That is as close to a liability as it gets. So my bold prediction is we will see maybe a 3-minute stint at the end of the first quarter from J-Dub in game 7, regardless of how the hamstring is feeling, because he is not up to series speed, let alone game 7 speed, in just coming back. And this is also a situation where it's not Aaron Gordon in Denver. Aaron Gordon walked into the Paycom Center on half a leg out of 2. Half a leg. They had no other choice. It was either that or 35 minutes of Russell Westbrook again. Oklahoma City, with every minute that J-Dub is out there, that means less Caruso, less Kaysen, shit, even less Kenrich Williams. I'd rather have anyone than that version of J-Dub. That you heard Jamal Crawford reference it during the broadcast. The first thing that goes when you get rusty, meaning you're away from game action, it's not your jumper, it's not your endurance, it's your handle. And right as he says it, J-Dub puts the ball on the floor with his left hand and it just goes into the second row. Like he looked at it as if he was Space Jam character that just had his talent stolen. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise that they got to see J-Dub tonight and realize he doesn't have it so that he gets no play time in game 7. Because if he sat out tonight and then they experimented with him coming back into the lineup and then he looks like that in OKC in a sudden death game, it's too late at that point. Like San Antonio had the early lead. They came out to a 9-2 advantage. All Victor Wembanyama outside shots, step back, some like shit that makes us think he could be the greatest player of all time. Timeout OKC. They get a couple of buckets. And then J-Dub comes in at the end of the quarter and the lead just goes back to double digits and they never recovered from there. So long-winded way of just me getting to the point yet again that J-Dub is unplayable until at least the finals when he can take a couple of days off, get right, and then you walk into a game 1 at home versus a game 7 or a game 6. That he was a shadow of his all NBA self tonight, not just with efficiency, but with usage, as well as two-way basketball. He could not be hidden. And you don't need to hide him. You don't need to force him out there like that Aaron Gordon analogy. You don't need to. You have so many guys that you can go to. Jared McCain out there relocating like he's Ray Allen. You're taking minutes away from Jared McCain. You're taking minutes away from Alex Caruso. And you better believe in a game 7, that rotation is going to shorten up to probably 7, 8 guys. Even though OKC is 15 deep, Game sevens are traditionally played by the same 7 or 8 players. That 8th player probably gets between 10 and 12 minutes. You're looking at like a Luke Cornett, or I guess in Oklahoma City's case, I don't think you're going to see any Aaron Wiggins. Obviously, no Topich. It's going to be like off the bench. It's going to be Kaysen. It's going to be Kaysen, Caruso, and Jay Will, and that's it. That's it, especially if they go with the double big starting lineup like they did tonight with Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. Another big question. Yeah, good point by Alisher in the chat, who says you can't play minus defenders in this series. Absolutely not. With how many, all 10 guys on the floor, can we, at all times, I'm trying to think if there's an exception to this. In this series, is there ever a player on the floor who cannot punish you wide open from outside the arc? Because Chet Holmgren, I know Isaiah Hartenstein doesn't shoot threes, but shit, that little floater that he just continuously goes to might as well be a floor stretching shot. So I'll just consider that for the sake of this argument. You can't have a minus defender because there's no one to hide them on the San Antonio side. Champagny, Vassell, Fox, Wemby, Harper made a couple of threes tonight, or at least one. It's like Luke Cornett off the bench, not even Harrison Barnes. You can't hide J-Dub anywhere if he's going to be moving around like a zombie. Jared McCain obviously is a no. Caruso continues to make defenses pay. You saw him hit the silencer like, everyone chill out, I got this. Where would they be? This game would have been a 40-point blowout in the first half if it wasn't for Alex Caruso and Jared McCain. Shea, you're not leaving open ever. Of course, you're throwing the second bodies at him. So that's the point here, is you can't have anyone on the floor as an obvious pigeon. A pigeon is someone that you pick on, basketball term for a weak defender that gets identified by the offense as being put into action all the time. That's where San Antonio won this game tonight. Just brutalizing J-Dub and the entire Oklahoma City defense, having to have an extra foot in the paint or foot towards wherever the ball was, regardless of Shea's gravity, regardless of Wemby or Fox's gravity. It didn't matter, because everyone in the back of their mind is thinking, we got to help J-Dub out if they're just going to keep going downhill against him. Changes the entire dynamic, period. There's nobody in this series that's an offensive liability. There is no Mitchell Robinson. There is no Andre Roberson. There is no Ben Simmons. There is no Russell Westbrook. Shit, they've been trying to leave Josh Hart open for 3 straight series, and he's responded with a 40+% three-point percentage. They tried to apply that philosophy to the Oklahoma City Thunder on offense, leaving Alex Caruso open, and all he does is go out there and drain 3 after 3 after 3. I'm trying to make the case here why J-Dub cannot play in Game 7. The guy's still an excellent talent, but with those 4 hamstring injuries that have piled up on top of each other, it has turned into a liability, and that is undoubtedly where the game was lost tonight. Okay, I just looked up at the chat. Shameful behavior from the Spurs tonight. If you're going to say some shit like that, you need to be more specific. And I saw one video of NBA Twitter got Victor Wembanyama running with Lou Dort up the floor, and it looked like he pulled at his jersey a little bit. Have you guys never watched a playoff basketball game before? This shit happens every second, every game. This is not turning into a series, people, where, oh, even if they win, it's illegitimate because they were dirty. Man, shut the hell up. Who gives a fuck who's dirty or not? It's about winning. Every player that has ever been in the playoffs has told you that. Anything to win. So when NBC snitches on Victor Wembanyama and you see the opposite angle where he's telling Mason Plumlee hard fouls, are we sure he said hard fouls? Mike Tirico was pretty adamant that hard fouls was said. He better be right, because that's something that some teenager on NBA Twitter would produce a video around. Like, he said hard fouls when, shit, he could have been saying something in French for all we know. But let's just give Mike, a professional in the business, the benefit of the doubt that that's exactly what was said. Y'all be acting like that shit's never happened before. Why do you think they got the name the Bad Boys? Why do you think the Jordan rules became a book? Well, it's a contact sport. If it was up to Jared McCain, like we heard him in the interview with the NBA TV, everyone would just be holding hands and singing Kumbaya in front of some cringy TikTok video. And makes him happy. Keep doing it. He's happy. He's out there dancing around. That's just not the reality of playoff basketball, man, or any of you. So when you come into the comments and you say the Spurs are being dirty, the Thunder are being dirty, they're just physical. It's playoff basketball. I loved the foul by Carter Bryant into the back of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because, wait, who got hit? Mason Plumlee. So Mason Plumlee hits Jared McCain. Hits Jared McCain at the end of game 5. I'm trying to remember the correct events here. Carter Bryant hit Shai in the back at the end of, or in that, when he was crashing from the corner in game 6. SGA was struck. Yes. Castle got his hair pulled. Okay. Like Lou Dort got his hair pulled. Enough. It's playoff basketball. It's check ball up top. For every time that someone's had their hair pulled, someone else has had their hair pulled in a previous game. Every time someone's gotten a hard foul in the back, they've returned it. Victor Wembanyama got pushed in the back by Naz Reid in game 1. He ended up throwing an elbow, not as intentional retaliation. But everyone, it seems to always come back around. And these do seem to nullify each other or negate each other every single time. I don't know what to tell you. So do not waste your time coming in here trying to platform one team being more ethical than another. Both these teams are out here trying to win by any means necessary, and that is the best product that the NBA can offer, period. Jish says these teenagers on Twitter act like there's never been contact and physicality. Man, like pulling of the hair. Come on, man. We are not playing tennis here. Dylan Harper, Wob. Dylan Harper says Soto's jockstrap. Don't have to tell me twice. I mean, the Spurs have landed an amount of talent that is now quite literally illegal in the NBA. 3 straight top 5 picks in Steph Castle, Dylan Harper, and Victor Wembanyama. Dylan Harper, man, his finishing strength is at this age of 20. So he started the season 19. Nobody should be finishing at the rim like that. With how much versatility and athleticism exists in the league today, he makes it look way too easy, the way that he grips the ball and has the angles with the spin. Kyrie Irving will always be the GOAT at that. Steph Curry's an incredible finesse finisher as well. But watching Dylan Harper go downhill, take on centers at the rim, and start spinning that shit, trying to tomahawk and finish over the top of them. Do you ever notice how bodies kind of bounce off of Dylan Harper's downhill dribble penetration like a bug against a windshield? I really don't think that's an accident. And it's hard to watch Chet continuously get bodied out of the paint, but at least he was providing some resistance tonight. He's got to put on weight at some point, man, because this wiry frame of his against a San Antonio team specifically, even Vassell and Julian Champagnie were trying to meet Oklahoma City's bigs at the rim. Sham Jams in the YouTube chat says, as a Thunder fan, the ref physicality talk is exhausting for that reason. Some are keying in on aggressive Spurs play today to show it goes both ways. I wish none of it was a narrative check ball. Thank you. No one's going to give a flying fuck during game 7 or after it. The team that wins is going to be celebrating and anticipating the New York Knicks coming to town. And you better believe it's only going to get worse against them. So just let the victims air it out on Twitter. That's really how people just project their insecurities, and they use these basketball games as a vehicle to use as therapy for things that inconvenience them, make them sad. That's kind of how you therapeutically get over it. Every lefty that plays basketball is aesthetically pleasing. Yes. Even your precious James Harden at least looks good when he's dribbling, laying up, and shooting. There's only been one ugly left-handed basketball player, and that's Michael Redd. Every lefty has the purest form somehow. Even DeAndre Jordan at the free throw line shot like 40% for a decade straight. That shit was gorgeous. It was picture perfect. It just never went in. The Woodsman in the YouTube chat says, at this point, I don't know what's softer, the foul calls themselves or the NBA fans calling for the foul calls. I'm telling you, this is just a very loud community, which is very small in quantity, and it exists on Twitter specifically. And because of that, it then has a trickle-down effect to network television shows the next day, syndicated radio shows, as they are looking for topics that everyone is discussing. They inhale the smoke, the facade of people actually caring about foul calls and dirty play in this series, because that is what's always trending on Twitter. That's the mistake that's made here. People think more care about this topic when they do not. The game was a blowout. Most of these games have been blowouts since the Game 1 Classic, but that doesn't mean the tactics and the strategies aren't interesting, because we knew the same way Victor Wembanyama coming back from a disappointing Game 2 where Tony Brothers' crew was no blood, no foul. Prison ball rules in effect. And if you don't have a broken bone to show me, don't bother coming over here. Isaiah Hartenstein was able to really influence him physically, and the whistles were not being blown. His lack of aggressiveness was then apparent, and I think a result of which, in every time in which he has a game where he's either inefficient from the field or has a low quantity of field goal attempts, he has always come back in this series, rubber band effect, with a big next game where he makes it a point. You know what? Instead of making that, I should pass this to the corner because Julian Champagne's kind of open over there, I'm just going to put the ball on the floor and say, fuck you. And I thought, well, the first couple shots tonight were threes, but those were ISO sets in the half court where he had to separate and make some tough shit. And it was nothing special. He doesn't have a go-to move. He doesn't have a Sombor shuffle like Nikola Jokic. He doesn't have a Kareem skyhook. He doesn't have a Dirk Nowitzki scissor kick, but he's got ball handling ability in which he can create just enough space so that he can see the rim unobstructed. And I love make or miss that in the first 90 seconds of this game tonight, Victor Wembanyama wanted the world to know that I am going to be the hub, the initiator, the creator, and the scorer. We all know San Antonio wants to get the ball to the middle of the floor. That could mean De'Aaron Fox is coming off a high pick and roll. He loves getting into that little elbow comfy pull-up jumper. then gives you a little hezzy and gets to the rim, hits you with the floater. Victor Wembanyama wants to live between the elbows, and if he's able to get an entry pass there, he simply turns, faces, and has the full optionality of going to the rim himself, shooting, dribbling, or deferring. That's why they call it triple threat. Shoot, dribble, pass. Triple threat means you have 3 ways of threatening the defense. If you get Victor Wembanyama the ball in the middle of the floor, it's practically over. But when you force him to get his entry passes over by the sideline, which is why we've seen Mark Daigneault go to the fronting strategy with J-Dub in the past, but now that he's hurt, it's been more Alex Caruso. The reason for shading Victor Wembanyama to a certain side of the floor is because the sideline becomes a 6th defender. So now he has to put the ball on the floor to physically get to the middle. That takes away one of his triple threat options. And tonight, while the first couple of field goal attempts were shots from the top of the arc, it was pretty clear that Wemby was living between the elbows. And if he just simply gets the ball there, think of the gravity that he attracts, because everyone knows if he has the ball within the 3-point arc in the middle of the floor, you're going to see the 2 corner defenders take an extra step towards the block in the event he puts the ball on the floor and goes to the rim, because someone's going to have to stop him. That means even the strong side corner is going to help, which is usually a cardinal sin of defense. The strong side corner is supposed to never help under any circumstances. Helping out of the strong side corner is what got Mike Brown fired in Sacramento and De'Aaron Fox asking out. I bring up the example all the time from last season, but it was that Jaden Ivey 4-point play, which created a domino effect that we still feel today. Helping out of the strong side corner has been the reasoning as to why all of these major moments have occurred throughout NBA history. And while Ray Allen technically in the corner against the Spurs in 2012, that was off of a rebound, it still technically was in the strong side corner. I'm telling you, the strong side corner is always the culprit. So here we are, headed towards a game 7. Is anything going to change tactically? I gave you my first big, bold prediction. I'll get to these questions. How many people in the chat are asking about Mitchell Robinson? My God. Guys, it's Mitchell Robinson. Again, splint it. He doesn't even shoot or dribble. Splint it and go back out there unless it requires surgery. It's not that big a deal. Where was I? Now I'm getting upset. Big, bold prediction number 1. We will see very little of J-Dub, if any at all. Number 2. I think we're going to see 3 crew chiefs, which will obviously be Scott Foster, because he was not there today, right? So it's going to be Scott Foster. Tony Brothers did game 5. So we're looking at the Scott Foster crew. Ben Taylor, Scott Foster. Game 7s traditionally are officiated conservatively when it comes to physicality, which means whistles in the pockets. There's going to be a lot of physicality permitted. And if that's the case, Oklahoma City knows, especially at home, that we're going to be able to get away with a lot pushing Wemby around, which makes me think we will see Daigneault go back to a fronting strategy of Victor Wembanyama when he tries to establish positioning on the post. They've gotten away from it a bit. They've stayed more at home because Isaiah Hartenstein has showed us the past couple of games that he is worthy of taking on that Wemby assignment straight up. You don't need to come send help. And because it's a game 7, I think you'll see San Antonio also go back to sending a second body at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They haven't done that in quite some time either. They've been playing him rather straight up. And oh, my goodness, by the way, I understand they lost and Shai struggled tonight, but this is the second time in this series where Shai has hit Wemby in isolation on an island with a crossover, dip, stop on a dime, step back that makes Wemby play twister and touch the floor. There was no flopping there. That's the second time it was in the opposite corner the last time that it happened. Like how agile, violent that step back must be for Wemby to eat dirt twice. Wemby? It once again speaks to the offensive prowess and the MVP level type of talent that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is, to make Wemby look like that, not once as a fluke, but not twice. Okay. Let's recap really quickly because you keep asking for game 7 predictions. And there's going to be people coming in and out. So I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I just like to list them. J-Dub's absence. Alex Caruso will get a Wembanyama assignment and be in front tactics. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to see second bodies thrown at him periodically, not consistently, but periodically. We come out of an ATO, and I think you'll see some different looks from Mitch Johnson. Might be like Spoelstra does all the time. When we come out of a timeout, we're in a zone, then we're back to man. We'll go zone to throwing a second body to a full double team, and then we'll go back to playing them straight up. That's going to be like our rotation, so we don't give away our defense like a sign around our neck. But I think you're going to see a second body thrown at Shai, and he's going to have to really navigate the different looks that he's going to see throughout that game. I do not think a coach will just say, we're going with this and we're riding or dying. There's been too much maneuvering by these head coaches tactically, depending who is on the floor, for them just to go status quo, start to finish, because they've now seen 6 games of each other. And I would be hard pressed to believe that a coach is just going to say, this is what we're doing, and if it fails, we're willing to live with it. No. Like these two coaches are too sharp at picking up on tendencies, identifying someone that's struggling, foul trouble situations. Yeah. So Shai's going to see second bodies periodically. I think we're going to see physicality enforced the way that Tony Brothers' crew had in game 2. But why everyone was so upset with Tony Brothers and company in game 5 was, bro, okay, you told us in game 2, it was no blood, no foul. And then game 5, there was 70 free throw shot between the two teams, and you were enforcing the rules like it was a Wizards Hornets game in November. That inconsistency, when a guy has a reputation like Tony Brothers does with the players, of course they're going to be more physical because we know this guy doesn't blow the whistle. So I think game 7 of a conference finals is going to be officiated like your local pickup game that takes 15 minutes to complete because it's point game versus point game, and no one's letting layups in. You're getting fouled like crazy and just saying, foul, check ball up top, check ball up top. You're not getting no easy looks here. It's going to be 2.5 hours of that. Devin in the YouTube chat says, finals game 7 last year, Shai took 27 shots. Yeah, you can anticipate him playing 44 minutes. He'll get a 2-minute break at the end of, he'll play the entire first quarter. He'll then take 2-minute break before the first TV timeout in the second quarter. So 2 minutes there. Yeah, he's going to play 44 minutes in game 7 as long as he doesn't get injured or into foul trouble. And then he's going to take a 2-minute break at the beginning of the fourth. They're going to try and steal a couple of minutes, and hopefully it's not using J-Dub to be another ball handler. I think you'll see Cason Wallace probably move to point guard so that Jared McCain can continue to run out there. OKC got their ass beat tonight, but once again, Jared McCain continues to be a nuisance for a San Antonio team that has the perimeter foot speed, as they usually have 4 hyenas out there surrounding Victor Wembanyama. Jared McCain's relocating to every open position on the floor. Just I implore you during one of these OKC offensive possessions, don't even watch the ball or what Shea and Wemby are doing. Just stare at Jared McCain. It is reminiscent of JJ Redick. That's all JJ Redick did was relocate, relocate, relocate. JJ Redick, Ray Allen, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Reggie Miller. All they never stop moving for the entire 24-second possession because they're just relocating, looking for open space. If I stand in the corner, I'm affording my defender an opportunity to grab their shorts and rest a little bit. But if you are running sideline to sideline, running to the opposite corner in the event a dribble penetrator is looking to defer, Jared McCain has been relentless at doing that this playoffs. Let's go to the chats. That's enough yapping from me. Let's read some chats here. I'm going to scroll up, 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 up. Let's go here. You guys were laughing at my something I said. Oh, okay. I scrolled back to the point I was talking about the hard foul. Tarico didn't get sentelled. It did look like he was saying his lips were moving like hard foul, suggesting hard foul, hard foul. But that's really dangerous to say with conviction unless you know, because you have a mic that picked it up. He may have a microphone that NBC was able to hear it. He says hard foul. He whispers it in Plumlee's ear. ABDZ World said, I love the foul by Carter Bryant is an insane take. That was dirty. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to disagree. They reviewed it too. What more do you want? Even the referees don't agree with you. If AJ Mitchell is available, play him or no. Man, we just learned our lesson if we're OKC with J-Dub. Is AJ Mitchell going to be up to game 7 speed with a busted calf? And then you're risking a potential Achilles injury? It's a no thanks from me. God, every question is about Mitchell Robinson, man. My God. I'm not his doctor. It's a broken pinky. It's not a broken arm. It's not a broken hand. It's a broken pinky. Sometimes we don't even hear about broken bones, people. He's likely going to get splinted up. He's going to try and play. And then they'll reevaluate. Unless he gets surgery, then he's going to be out. That's it. The guy's out there for his defense and rebounding and finishing alley-oops. Something tells me he'll be able to do that. He doesn't do anything else. Maybe that splint will help him the same way Henry Rowan Gardner in Rookie of the Year when he suffered a dislocated shoulder and started throwing 105 miles an hour. Maybe the splint will turn him into Steph Curry at the free throw line. Do you trade Chet? I'm pretty sick of Chet Holmgren, man. If I'm a Thunder fan, he's a champion. I get that this guy can like protect the rim against every other team not named San Antonio. 4 of 8. He just doesn't leave a mark for me, man. On any of these games, he just doesn't leave his stamp on anything. He's not shooting threes. He's 0 of 1 tonight. He gets to the free throw line twice. It got to the point they had to bring in Isaiah Hartenstein because of his inability to rebound against Dallas. I just don't know what Chet does at a superstar level or even what the potential is right now until you put some weight on, man. User Heron says Vassell is so crucial. I feel like he has constantly been an energy, defense, offense player whenever you need him. Did you see him barking at Chet Holmgren? And Chet just stands there stoically. I want Chet to stand up for himself one of these damn times because San Antonio's trying to pick on you. They're trying to bully you. And then that shit is contagious when they know they can just run over you. And I guess Chet doesn't want to get ejected. He doesn't want to give it any attention. But it's hard to watch even Devin Vassell swat his ass at the rim, a little guard, and there's just no retaliation for it anywhere. They're hitting you in the back. Chet, put someone on their ass, man. You're 7-1. Carter Bryant's running into your guys from behind from the corner. Mason Plumlee's shoving Jaron McCain in the back. Michael Redd could get buckets, Chad. I didn't say the man can't get buckets. I said his jumper was ugly. That's it. This league is entirely too online. That is a correct assessment. And today's anti-tanking legislation that dropped gives even more authoritarian powers to Adam Silver. He can levy up to $10 million in fines. He can strip draft picks. He can demote draft picks. You better believe if some fan base identifies that Jaren Jackson Jr. has been taken out of the game by the Utah Jazz, they're going to make a big deal out of it because we know Adam Silver is very online on Twitter and may end up coming down with some harsh penalties if he deems there's been conduct detrimental to the league. Do I think SGA is playing through something? Of course, no one's 100%. Most of the time, we don't even hear about the injuries that these players have. It's only the ones that are actual broken bones and shit, or like a calf that AJ Mitchell has that's clearly in some trouble. Carly says basketball camp coach Wob teaching us about triple threat. Well, we need to do basketball 101 around here sometimes because a lot of the For You timeline on Twitter thinks that this is the dirtiest series of all time, where it's practically smooches and hugs compared to some series in the past, especially a generation before it. Capers. No, Capers was game 5. The drive for 5 says J-Dub is really a trap for OKC. He has no rhythm, and they're asking too much from him right now. Playing him in 3-minute spurts means he can't get a feel for the game. Preach on that. You must have been listening to Antonio recently because he said one of the hardest parts of being a role player, someone that comes off the bench, is you are judged on your first impression. And if you don't have it, you don't get a second chance to go out there and prove, you know what? I'm worthy of these minutes in extended run. You just get yanked. And J-Dub is used to being someone who starts, that has the runway of the entire first quarter to start working up a sweat and a lather, and then you traditionally come out. It's just a different mentality when you come off the bench, knowing you have a couple of minutes. That just does not seem like a strategy that I would want to try and test with someone that's usually a starter. That just doesn't feel right to me. The only time we see starters go to the bullpen in baseball is a game 7 when it's incredibly desperate times. Yamamoto with the Dodgers, short rest, the equivalent of having a hamstring injury in baseball. Like, that's the type of outlier it needs to be. Yeah. Mitt, do not mess with a calf strain ever. Yeah. I mean, we learned our lesson the past couple of years. 2019 with Kevin Durant in Toronto broke the trust there. Tyrese Halliburton playing through it in the finals. We know what happened there. Chase Brewers in the chat says, "What's up, man? Any opinion on Wemby getting some special treatment with the league between the suspension, the no suspension fine for the elbow on Nas, and no fine for missing media last game? There's other examples of stars not getting fined and only getting warned. So he's not the only one. He was properly assessed a flagrant foul penalty 2 for Nas Reed's elbow. I don't think a suspension was necessary. That's a first-time offender. It wasn't Ron Artest elbowing James Harden. It wasn't Isaiah Stewart. No. I thought that would be an overcorrection. That is not special treatment to me. It was a torn elbow ligament for Rowan Gardner. Was it really? It wasn't a shoulder. I always thought it was a shoulder. Didn't he fall off a bike or something? Man, that movie was so long ago. Thanks, Renee. Game 7s often come down to straight up best player on the court. In this series, is it that SGA or Wemby? Well, first of all, we need a close game. The most recent Game 7 between the Pistons and the Cavs was a complete blowout. For the best player to rule them all, like the ring to rule them all, the game has to be a clutch situation. And then we're going to see Wemby versus Shea, just who can make more tough shots at a hero ball, because those defenses are going to be so entrenched that they'll try and run some action. And then whatever player has it is just going to be like, fuck that, Shea, just come and get it. And now there's 7 seconds left on the shot clock. So he's like, everyone get the fuck out of here. And then they'll start sending the second body his way, and it's going to be up to him to navigate it, or whoever he defers to is going to have to make a big shot. Carter Bryant only had 2 points tonight, but they were thunderous ones, pun intended. It was that back scratching, two-handed dunk where his chin was above the rim. His presence was felt more tonight than Chet Holmgren's was in 24 minutes. And Chet finished with 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, 10 points. Man, I felt Carter Bryant tonight a lot more than I felt Chet. Jane Stacy's in the chat. Who do I think should be the next OKC starting 5? The one they rolled out tonight. Shea, McCain, Dort, Hartenstein, Chet. That means Kaysen, Caruso, Jay Will off the bench. Yeah, that's it for me. Trying to think, is there a way to... Do you put Caruso in there for Dort? Dort's been a little irrelevant as well. 2 of 11 tonight. Lou Dort got up 11 shots tonight. 1 of 9 from 3. I hardly even noticed that. Are we in the bubble again? Remember when he launched up like an 0 for 10 against the Rockets? That's bubble Lou Dort. Yikes. We may need to consider some Alex Caruso in the starting lineup then. Who else can we trust? We can trust Isaiah Joe. It's either Kenrich, Isaiah Joe. If you move Lou Dort to the bench, you put Caruso in, that means you've got Kaysen, Isaiah, Jay Will. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't mind Caruso going in there for Dort at this point. I think Caruso needs to play 21 minutes. Can Caruso not go 30? Is he just run out of gas with how hard he plays? Mitchell Denton in the chat asks, as a Knicks fan, would you rather play Oklahoma City or San Antonio? If you get Oklahoma City without AJ Mitchell and J-Dub, then I would rather play Oklahoma City. But if they're both in and healthy, I would rather play San Antonio. So it's a TBD. And both teams are going to be favored, and deservingly so. Though the Knicks with Mitchell Robinson, if he can play, They do have a horse in the stable that has shown an ability to hold his own against Victor Wembanyama without having to deploy any special tactics, kind of just play it straight up with him on the floor. But Mitchell Robinson, even when fully healthy, only plays between 17 and 21 minutes. They went back to taking Wemby out early again, overreacted to game 3 and started playing Wemby longer stints, and that probably fatigued him too much last game. But man, this game 7. So remind me, or maybe someone can go look in the box score. How many minutes did Victor Wembanyama play against Team USA in the Olympics gold medal match? Did he play the entire game? I'm going to look that up right now because they play 40-minute quarters, right? Team USA. Did he play the entire game? Team USA versus Team France basketball gold medal box score. I remember Rudy getting benched in that game. Here we go. August 10th, 2024. Victor Wembanyama played 30 of the 40 minutes. So he sat 10. Frank Ntilikina started? Frank Ntilikina started? Zero. You'll never guess his stat line. 0-1-0-0-0-0-0. 0-3. Starting lineup: Frank Ntilikina, Victor Wembanyama, Nico Batum, Yabusele, Codinier. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. That was a Nando De Colo game. Rudy Gobert played 12 total minutes, scored 2 points, 1 of 1 from the field. I'm just looking at the box score right now. This is a somewhat close game, man. Look, just a complete mismatch on paper. Curry, Booker, Embiid, James Durant. Yeah, I mean, in this game, Wemby shot 19 times, 26 points, 7 rebounds, no blocks, 4 offensive rebounds. Okay. Eat More Tacos in the YouTube chat says Caruso didn't play the last 16 minutes at all. Well, most of the Thunder starters did not play because the fourth quarter was a blowout. Devin says Chet got a block on Wemby today. And then went down the floor and Wemby sent his shit into the 10th row. Did Shea fall? I didn't even see Shea falling over tonight at all. I only caught it once or twice. For him, that's nothing. He went to the free throw line. Shea was 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Jared McCain had as many attempts as he did. What's up, Kai? What do you need? We don't need to. Do we need to talk about James Harden here? I don't think we do. He struggled. He's going to continue to struggle. Father Time's undefeated. Nando De Colo. He was big in that game. Go Rays indeed. Yes. Your boy's got I have a future bet on the Rays to win the division at plus 375. Pretty big. I feel like I'm stealing. Helwig says the funniest play of the game was the Spurs falling asleep on defense at the end of the third quarter, then Wemby recovering just to stuff Chet at the rim. Microcosm of those two careers, man. Kai, I don't want to lie to you. I don't know what to tell you about James Harden, man. There's no light at the end of the tunnel as long as he's in Cleveland. They need DeAndre Hunter back. They don't have a single player on that roster that can be considered a swingman, with the exception of Dean Wade, and he hardly plays. I've done my 50 minutes of yapping. Pretty fair assessment of tonight's game. It's just going to come down to Victor Wembanyama. Can he get the ball where he prefers? That's honestly what this. They know each other tactically. They know every play that they're going to run, every set that they have. When you play a team 6 times, the book is already written. You know every play that's coming. It's just a matter of if you can stop it. One thing matters for Oklahoma City. It's forcing Victor Wembanyama out of the middle of the floor. One thing matters for San Antonio, and that is mixing up their coverages of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the point that he does not get into rhythm, which when he gets into rhythm, he's getting downhill to the short post just outside of the block fadeaway. If he can navigate his way, maneuver his way through all of those proximity mines of defenders into that little zone, it's 2 points almost every single time. Can San Antonio find a way to disrupt his rhythm when he's really going to be pressing? One of those San Antonio losses earlier this series, the first thing we said during this postgame show was, man, it felt like Shai was pressing tonight. He is out there pressing. It was game 4, I think. Nick Sleem says, brutal ball all night. That was not enjoyable. What was brutal about it? Brutal would mean lack of shot making, too many whistles. I didn't find there to be. How many free throws did they shoot total tonight? 12 for OKC, 25 for San Antonio. Let's do some math here. 12 plus 25 is 37. 80 minus 37 is 43. They shot 43 less. I'm sorry, 70. 70 minus 43. 27 less free throws. Did I 25? Nope, I did my math wrong. Let's do that. Let's try that again. 12 plus 25 is 37. 70 minus 37 is 33. 33 less free throws than game 5. Math is hard. Carly says, I might need to run back Court of Gold after that gold medal box score. Look back, greatest basketball run ever, possibly by Team USA. They were 1 6-point possession from Devin Booker away from losing that game to Serbia. It's one of the greatest teams ever assembled, but it certainly wasn't one of the greatest performances, I don't think. Oh, yeah, Hellwick's right. If you're asking me and what I care about the most, it's game flow. Game flow. And game flow requires a lack of whistles. I don't want the whistle blowing every 6 seconds. We're going to the monitor. That disrupts game flow. That's why FIBA is such an attractive product. Predict the bigs on Team USA's roster in 2028. Do we just load up on physical shot blocking bigs and hope our guards and wings can outscore France France will not have a single perimeter player that's as good as ours. So they'll have Wemby, Koulibaly, Ousmane Dieng, Risache. Who else am I missing? There's French players everywhere. But the United States has Bam, Chet. Do we even want Chet out there against Team France and what Wemby's going to do to him? Bam, Chet. Embiid will be practically dead by then. Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is going to be there for France too, isn't he? I thought he was Australian. He's French? Okay. Duran. Ugh. Mobley. Ugh. My silence is me trying to think of a United States big man. Cat plays for the Dominican Republic. Gosh, I got nothing. Just send Luke Cornett out there. It's what this. Oh, speaking of, how about tonight? The first time that the San Antonio Spurs have won the Luke Cornett minutes. I don't think that's a coincidence. Seeing the final score. Luke Cornett, not the liability that I opened the show on with J-Dub being. They survived those minutes tonight. And, well, it wasn't because he was out there lighting the world on fire in the box score either, but they did win the minutes, so we need to acknowledge it. You read my mind, Helwick. Donovan Clingan? Ugh. I still haven't heard a better proposal than Bam Adebayo from any of you. Cam Boozer, maybe. I think it's just Bam, man. It's Bam, and then KD is a big enough sicko that he might play again. We really need KD to play. It's going to be Booker. It's going to be Booker, Halliburton, Tatum, Bam. Ugh, this team sucks. Oh, that poor. Sorry, this is too much information, but with my night off yesterday, I went to the beach and I got hit with the perfect storm halfway there. When I tell you that Harry Potter reached the Chamber of Secrets immediately, it was like you have less than 5 minutes to find a toilet. So I stopped at a hotel lobby on the way to the beach. And what I did to that bathroom, I feel so bad. I don't know why I shared that. I'm sorry. Cooper Flag, play some 5 for us. France also has Reno. Yeah. Jaren Jackson Jr. Ugh. Fine, I guess. There's no thunder in space. That's a good one. Scotty? Scotty? Sure. I'm up for some Scotty. Yeah. Scotty should be a Team USA guy. Gonna need that defense, man. They have different rules there in FIBA. He could play some small ball 5 for us. Oh, yeah. I mean, you only get 5 fouls in FIBA, too. Jaren Jackson Jr. won't even be able to get off the bus. Yeah, Maxi's got to be on there. Cade, yeah, I'm not worried about the backcourt. Cade, Maxi. You guys are sharing war stories in the chat. Yeah, now the entire chat wants Scotty. Caleb Wilson, perhaps. It might be too soon. Yeah, Zion, no way. He's just too banged up in the summer. Anthony Edwards is obviously going to be there. Helwick says, I still think about 2020 when you tweeted there are no longer minutes than waiting for game 7 minutes. Worse than microwave, plank, and treadmill minutes. I may have to go find that tweet. How do you remember everything? But that does sound like something I would tweet. Brunson? Is Brunson blacklisted by the Team USA? I think, isn't that Jaylen Brown? No, it wasn't from Dino Nuggets. The last thing you do when you eat Dino Nuggets is poop because those are so processed. You don't get the shits from processed food. The only time I can think of where it was like an emergency, I was playing basketball, lower Manhattan. For anyone that's lived in Manhattan before, there's Hudson River Park on the west side. It's practically Tribeca. I was playing at that big blue court there on the boardwalk. Very nice court, incredibly scenic, great games. But man, when I tell you I got hit with that same storm, it was like, oh fuck. I just had to leave the middle of the game. The problem is there's not a public bathroom for about half a mile, maybe four tenths to half a mile down the boardwalk. And it got to the point that I thought I was going to have to take a shit on the next to the highway because you're walking alongside the West Side Highway. Am I just going to have to drop my pants and just take a shit in the bush? It got that bad. And I somehow made it to the bathroom. And then when you make it to the bathroom, there's only 2 stalls for a busy, super busy Saturday, summer New York. Of course, there's going to be people in those stalls, right? There was no one there. And when I tell you that the dam opened, the greatest, most relieved I've ever felt in my life. We need to bring back NBA poops. I think I've told a story similar to this in the past. That's where NBA poops came from. What did I eat? I had spaghetti with meat sauce. They added bathrooms right next to that court. Of course they did, because they weren't anywhere near at the time. You know where I'm talking about, Carly, because the city vineyard is right down the boardwalk there. It's a super popular area. There's another basketball court next to more bathrooms, but man, I had to waddle almost half a mile. And it was just the worst feeling in the world. It felt like I was having contractions. The closest I've can ever relate to knowing what pregnancy is. That sounds like a lie. Someone in the YouTube chat said I crossed the shit out of you on that court, Wob. I don't get crossed up. Sorry. I was an elite defender. Here we go in the chat. NBA poops. Marcus Shart. Poo Dort. Feces Azili. Mo Diarrhea instead of Mo Diawara. Deuce McBride. That is a sneaky no bathroom area. I learned the hard way. Yes, I agree. It's not even soft serve ice cream. It's just a faucet. Oh, this show has gone off the rail. Nick Lund asks, when was the last time we had a chase? I looked it up. May 7th. It's been almost 21 days. Or May 9th, sorry. So 19 days. We had fires here in LA that took up a couple of days. We had the Garden Grove chemical spill that made national news. Choppers are busy over there. We've had plenty of chases, but none of them have lasted long enough to make television. There was 3 or 4 today, and I didn't see the choppers launch for one of them. Josh Shart instead of Josh Hart. Deuce Tatum. Leaky Brown. Come on. It's Leaky Black. The chat is taken over with NBA poops. Alpuren Shengun. That's the funniest one. Shit to my Lou instead of skip to my Lou. Almost works. Isaiah Fartenstein. How about Dikembe? Rest in peace, Dikembe Mutombo. Instead of Mutombo. Mutombo. All right. I don't even need to do a show. The chat's taken over here. Hoodie says, this is the chat I manifested from the Periscope days. Anything is possible. Yeah. If you'd like to participate, I'm sure the hashtag NBA Poops still exists on Twitter to this day. Hashtag NBA Poops. That used to happen all the time when people would just on Twitter, it'd be some random Wednesday night, and someone would start a hashtag of like NBA, I don't know, Game of Thrones, NBA this, NBA reality, NBA something, and people would just go crazy with responding, quote tweet. It was such a different world those days on Twitter, like in the early 2010s. That was such a Twitter thing. I guess I got to make a pick. My pre-series pick was OKC in 7. Am I sticking with it? I really don't want to if AJ Mitchell and J-Dub are going to be out. Guess I have to. Antonio we have a push-up bet. He has San Antonio in 7. I have OKC in 7, and one of us is going to win. Yeah, it was back when Twitter was so fun, man. Just random shit like that would pop up. Do you guys I think Helwick would remember this. There was once a night where I had everyone create a basketball Tinder profile, and I had like thousands of submissions. Create a Tinder profile with like your basketball comps and abilities, and then like screenshot it and send it. There were so many people that responded to that. That was like 2017, I think. That was a popular one. Like every night on Twitter would just be one of those threads, and people were just chilling, having a good time, responding to those. It was just such a different website. That was pre-COVID streams. Summer. How do you know this shit? You're not even guessing, Helwick. You said summer 2017. You are a boomer. I tried to tell you, Carly. Just embrace it. Do you have any gray hair yet, Carly? Sorry for the poker chip intrusion. TCTX, appreciate you. I'm going to be out of here shortly as after we're done reminiscing here. Who said Richard Lewis? Or instead of Richard Lewis, Richard Lewis. They're not, first of all, this is not gray hair, it's silver. Silver. And silver hair is incredibly hot for women if you can find a way to make it look like Rogue from X-Men. Every millennial will be sweating if you can pull off the streak and throw it over. Like that was a sex icon in the 90s. Yeah. We have some new contributors to NBA poops in the chat. just getting off the trading wheels. Porta John Vesely. You're trying. Oh man, thanks, Conquistador. Yeah. All right. Let's say goodnight. I imagine some people came in here for at the end of the show for some actual basketball discourse. I got 50 minutes of it in, by the way. Just rewind from minute 0 to minute 50 if you want to hear about the actual game. But as always, these shows tend to go off the rails towards the end when my chat takes over. Yeah. By the way, the new draft lottery rules are not going to work. It does nothing to prevent protected picks, which is the biggest problem by far. And now you're going to have teams tanking out of the 8 seed to get the 9 seed so that they get that second ping pong ball. We're going to see tanking in the play-in tournament. Not in the actual tournament, but leading up to it, because the 9 seed gets a second ball. I wonder, wait a second. I wonder if those rules are for the seeding after the play-in tournament participants are finalized, or is it final standings, 8 and 9 seed, final regular season standings? Either way, the 8 and the 9 have huge incentive to swap if they think we're not going to win anything in the playoffs anyway. I understand that the 9, you have to win 2 straight games to get into the playoffs, while the 8 gets the ability to lose 1 and win 1. Oh, it's after. Yeah, Memphis got totally fucked today because they have that one pick, which is going to be the better of Minnesota, Cleveland, and Utah. But now that Utah can't be in the top 5 anymore, the best that they'll get from that pick is number 6, which is just crazy. There's a lot of teams with trades made previous to these new rules are going to be affected by some of these protections, new stipulations around getting back-to-back number 1 picks. So that means the Wizards can't get a number 1 pick next year. What if they suck again? It doesn't feel right that those picks were not grandfathered in, being made under the set of old rules, but the NBA was pretty adamant that we are going to make an overcorrection that's going to have some ramifications, and our apologies, but this is something at a macro level of the NBA economy that needs to be fixed immediately. And we are willing to deal with a couple of pissed off franchises, especially if it's Memphis. Like, what are y'all going to do about it? Move? They probably want you to do that anyway. Like, you have no leverage over us. So you guys can cry about how your draft picks are now worthless while we're trying to solve this multi-billion-dollar problem. Can the Nets go back to New Jersey? I assume not. They have a deal with Barclays Center, I imagine. Unless it expires soon and I'm unaware. Good question, Sunny Day. What the hell did I just click on? She must have entered into NBA poops. By the way, you're going to see teams put protections in place. If they tank and we want to protect our pick number 4 through 10, we're going to tank down to number 1 because our odds get relegated. They can still find a way to manipulate the odds in their favor. So, like, let's make that same Zubats trade, but we're going to protect it picks 4 through 10, unprotected 1 through 3, because we're going to lose intentionally and decrease our own odds so that the likelihood of us falling into that 6 through 10 range is even more likely if we're in the relegation zone. Because I last time I checked, there was no new rules on pick protections, and that's been the biggest problem this whole time, is teams trying to guarantee that they retain their lottery protected picks. Yeah, I am running out of steam here. Conquistador. Looking tired, man. I'm out of things to say. And we're almost 90 minutes in. And I'm washed on top of all those things. I need to go watch the news, go watch a little poker, and we go have a carbonated beverage. And we got to get ready for a game 7 if there's also an uninspiring game tonight, too. If there's something that gets the neck vein out, I could go for hours. But these games have, unfortunately, even though the series is going 7, kind of like the 2016 finals where all those games were blowouts. But game 7, absolute banger. But all will be forgiven if game 1 and game 7 end up being classics. Oklahoma City won 2 game 7s in that same building last year. This is not unfamiliar territory. They have the adversity of players being down and injured. No problem for them. They've dealt with this shit multiple times. All they did was go out and still win anyway last year. And I don't know who I'm rooting for if I'm a Knicks fan. I don't know. because if AJ and J-Dub are not there, if they're not 100%, I would rather play Oklahoma City. But if they are, I would rather play San Antonio. So I'm kind of going into this game 7 like, just beat the hell out of each other. We'll deal with whatever's left. Who said Kalena as a dookie? That might win NBA poops. I used to give out gold medals to the winners of NBA poops. Who said Kalena as a dookie? Thyriction, who keeps spraying these all over the place. Mitchell Robinson better play because those Huck Porty minutes will be Cornet times 2 in terms of detrimental. He is unplayable. Root for the Spurs. You'd rather go to San Antonio for a potential closeout finals game. Very true. And I get to stay with Antonio. He lives like 5 minutes away from the arena. Teams got eliminated. We would do vacation plunder domes with the gold, silver, bronze medals after. I don't remember the vacation plunder domes. We called it plunder dome because the plunder dome guy kept coming after me with a cease and desist. There's no way Wolves guy is still in the chat. After all these years, you're still here. Let's talk Wolves. No, Wolves guy. God damn it. So many characters in these shows I got to keep track of. And my memory is just gone. Thank God I have Hellwick. Hellwick is essentially my encyclopedia for my entire content history because I don't remember anything. The Brazil Timberwolves page. RIP. All right, I got to go. I can't even think straight anymore. I used to be able to do 3-hour shows. Now I can barely make 90 minutes before we get to NBA poops. Radio Roulette used to be 3 hours long, if I'm not mistaken. We would do the after party in hour 2. I'm going to fall asleep on air. All right, friends. I'm not even tired. I'm just uninspired. Damn it, OKC. But we'll get ready. Why are they playing this game on a Saturday night, not a Sunday? Give them the extra day. Game 7 should be on Sundays, not Saturdays. Now I got to change. I can't go play poker on Saturday. We'll have some hours. Oh, good news. Before I go, I spent the off night last night working on the end of season video. Oh, that means, oh shit, I forgot. I might have to do a game 7 Spurs Knicks hype video too. Fuck. I'll have to do that Monday. I'm going to be doing a NBA Finals hype video if it's Spurs Knicks because I can tap into the history of the 99 Finals and I already have the storytelling in my mind, but those videos take so long. But I've begun the process of producing and editing the 2026 season recap video, be about 20 minutes. And I may also drop a supercut of every single season recap video from 2019 through present day. It'll be about an hour and a half, and it's going to be like a movie where you can watch the last 7 years of the NBA all in one. I'm going to take all the videos and just combine them together. Yes, Helwick, you remember the last time that I did the video in advance, the NBA hype video? Every time I make it in anticipation of two teams playing against each other, they always end up losing and I have to trash the video. So I'm not going to spend 8 hours on it, is about what it takes. 8 hours on the Spurs Knicks finals hype video until it's official. It was the Battle of LA. That video still exists in my archives. Yeah. So the story is the 99 finals, and you can mold the two together with Tim Duncan and Wembanyama going down up for a dunk. You got the Spurs celebrating in Madison Square Garden after they won the 99 title. Tell me it's not perfect. Patrick Ewing, Jalen Brunson overlays, the history of the two teams. Oh, it's so good. Popovich then, now. What's the spread for that game? I imagine it's like 4. Let's see what Profit X has. Let's see. Oh, holy shit, did I nail it? I'm too good at this, man. 4. OKC -4, and it's plus 105. Yeah, I mean, that's practically a coin flip. Game 7. Over under only 213. Fucker. Sucker. Knocked over my tower of chips. Oh, NBA Cup. Yeah, you can show the NBA. This is how I'm going to do the hype video. It's going to be in black and white, 1999, with them celebrating at midcourt in Madison Square Garden. Then there's going to be the break and the piano hit. And then I'm going to show the NBA Cup celebration with the Spurs walking off the floor and Wemby looking back, and they're celebrating the NBA Cup. Oh, it's so good. Pop then, pop now. Wemby, Duncan, Ewing, Brunson. Oh, and then just the highlight packages. Oh, it's so good. I want to make it now. But if I make it now, the Spurs will not win game 7, and I'm going to be fucking pissed. Or do I do it now and just root for the Spurs? Because that video will absolutely bang if I drop it at the final buzzer. Should I bet? This is my version of content gambling. I think I've talked about this in the past. Sometimes I bet hours on certain scenarios playing out so that I was prepared and ready if they actually came to fruition. Everyone's saying to wait. But okay, when do I drop it? When do I drop the hype video if I wait and then do it later? Do I drop it that morning of game 1? Okay, I got to go. I don't know why I'm still alive. This is what happens. I keep getting sucked in by these comments. Do you guys know Lord of the Rings Orchestra is still touring? They're coming to LA in July. Can't wait. You get to watch the movie with the actual orchestra playing as the movie is going on. That's pretty fucking cool. Looking forward to going to that. What's up, AAR9? It's been a minute. Good to have you back. Unfortunately, the show is just ending. Mike Brown's 0-4 against the Spurs in the finals, but he was on the Spurs championship team. He was Antonio Daniels' shooting coach. That's why they're tight. Maybe that was after. I need to go catch up on Punch the Monkey. I need to watch World News tonight. I need to go watch some poker. Punch the Monkey had a very bad day yesterday, so need to see what's happening at Monkey Mountain today. He got bullied pretty bad and attacked yesterday. Punch the Monkey takes up like 2 hours of my life every day. And finding like non-AI videos, like real videos of him is a challenge. Everyone is trying to capitalize off of his fame. Punch the Monkey is too famous. He needs the zoo's protection, but there's a bunch of bullies inside of Monkey Mountain. It's this weird dynamic that he just keeps producing all of this content. Am I coming to the Canyon of Heroes if the Knicks win? Probably yes. No, the monkey is like a rare monkey that would actually be better as a pet, because macaques are terrible pets. They're not meant to be pets, but this one is a special monkey. It's like a human, and it's hand raised by its zookeepers, and he would definitely prefer to be with the zookeepers more than his own kind. But they can't remove him from the zoo because he's too popular and it's not safe. And they can't remove the bully monkeys because the leader is an alpha female who has the biggest family. It's a very interesting story that's going on with Punch right now. I'll do an off-season show on Punch. He has friends. His best friend, his name is Mommy. She's always there for him, but she wasn't yesterday when he got attacked. It was very sad. Okay, I'm ending the stream. I just have to pull the plug. I'm sorry. And I got to go watch the Hacks finale too. Fucking A, I'm only up to episode 6. My God, so much to do, so little time. It's been a pleasure, my friends. See you for Game 7, guaranteed. And I'll bring some more energy. Adios.